We're still in the front driver's area. This is the front exam room, honestly. So there's a bunch of little things I want to point out on the wall that are very, very important. So I mentioned that each room has a thermostat. That thermostat will be located somewhere on the wall on one of these Panduit strips, and it will say AC thermostat. You'll notice right now it's on 55, whoever did that. Did not set it at a good temperature. Do not set this thing at 55 degrees. It's not going to blow colder air. It's just going to blow longer. What will eventually happen if you set it anywhere below, 65 or below that? Eventually what's going to happen is the AC on the roof is just going to freeze up, and you're decreasing the life of your actual AC. Now you'll notice on here it says cool fan, off, and heat. Now it does have a heater built into the actual AC. It's what we refer to as a chill taker. If it is 60 degrees and around that area, you can turn on that heater in the AC and it will take the chill out of the air. Any other time that it's colder than that 60 degrees, you're going to want to use the actual heaters, the electric heaters that are built in around the unit, and they all have these little thermostats. Now the only warning with heating and cooling of this thing is make sure you use one or the other. Don't have this heater on and this heater on. If you have that on in every room, you're going to overload the unit. That's the only thing that can ever cause an overload, really, is if you have both heat sources on at the same time. Also, just common sense rules, don't have the AC on and the heater at the same time. They're just going to fight each other, and it's not going to do what you want it to do. The little micro monitor below this, you'll notice it says battery, it says waste, fresh, and battery. You have two waste tanks, or two water tanks. One is for waste, which would be coming from your sinks. The other one would be fresh, which would be, of course, your fresh, clean water that you put in the unit. When the plumbing system is turned on the power panel, if I flip this little switch, it's labeled pump, it will light up red. That will indicate that the pump is working and that I can turn the sinks on and that water will come out. If that switch is not on, of course, the water pump's not going to do anything. Now, don't turn that on. You can turn the plumbing system on, but don't turn the water pump on if there's no water in the system. It is an on-demand pump, so if there's no water in the system, it's going to run and run and run and eventually burn itself up. Now the fresh, waste, and fresh, if I pressed and held the waste, there's nothing in it right now, it'll show a little red light here at the empty. Same thing goes with the fresh. As you fill them up and you lose water, as you waste water and it goes from fresh to waste, it will start to fill up and you'll notice that the fresh will start to go down. Now common sense as well. If you use all the fresh water, the water went somewhere. You have to drain the waste tank before you add more water to the system. Kind of a little common sense little thing. Now any outlet, I have my GoPro plugged into it right now, any outlet that is near a sink or a water source or on the exterior will have this little GFCI protected breaker on it. Now it just means that if it gets wet, it will trip, and you'll see I'll push test. It'll trip. You need to reset it if it ever were to get wet and trip. Now just be aware, if you push the little test button and you don't have a little green light down here at the bottom, you will not be able to reset the actual outlet. So just be aware of that.